This is our paranormal podcast because this is our paranormal community, and we want to support you here on RU Media Network. We are proud to be sponsored by the Haunted Hinsdale House in Hinsdale, New York. Here are your hosts, Brian Mersall and Shawn Gilmore.
Oh, look what I forgot to do, guys. Welcome to, the first ever Our Paranormal Podcast. No, not first ever, but man, it feels like it. It's been so long with the holidays, rescheduled shows, and all sorts of craziness. It does. It feels like the first show all over again. And on top of that, I feel like shit. But we're going to work through it, guys, because we have an awesome guest and we have so much to talk about. Brian, how are you doing, brother?
I'm good. Very, very good. Very excited for 2023. How are you, Shawn? Besides being sick.
Man, other than being sick, and I feel like I'm looking at myself right now. I feel like I look like how I feel, which is like shit. I'm sorry, guys. I feel like I should have shaved or something, but I was napping all day today. I woke up. I took my son to this baseball thing for the Cleveland Guardians yesterday, and we did a lot of walking and everything. It was a lot of fun. And then this morning I just woke up. I felt like I got hit by a truck. I didn't drink or anything, so it's not a hangover. It's just probably just caught a bug or something. But nothing. A little bit of rest won't take care of, and some vitamins, which I just took, so we're good to go.
Yes.
So yeah, and right before the show, I also took the 5 Hour Energy, and no, I'm not counting that as vitamins, even though there are some in there. But I just did that for a little wake me up, so I could be on my toes for Melvin. When Melvin Seaborn, our awesome guest today, when he comes on to our show, and he's a viewer, he always asks the best questions for our guests. Guys, you need to ask him some good questions. Let's return the favor and let's really dig at this guy. This is a guy, he interviews all sorts of people that are in the spiritual realm, whether if they're in the with different religious beliefs or paranormal investigators, what have you. But here's the thing, he doesn't investigate himself, so he just likes to talk about it, and he likes to live vicariously through us. But you know what, he came out with this awesome book this year, and it's really, really good. And I not only did I read it, my daughter's actually in the middle of reading it too. It's so good, man, and I can't wait to find out what's fully motivated this story. It's a fictional story, right, Melvin, or is it based on true?
No, it's 100% fiction, inspired by my love of Erie, Indiana, and Goosebumps and Twilight Zone. And I just wanted to do a fun, silly story. Well, not too silly, but a fun story that gave those vibes from those shows from the 90s that we don't really have anymore.
Right? I mean, I definitely agree with that. And the things are so like sugar coated and like padded nowadays, unless you're watching like some sort of extreme like horror flick, right? It is, even if you go, they did redo the those one scary stories, and that movie wasn't so bad. But usually when it's but this story, I'll tell you what, man, it keeps you guessing. You don't know what's going to happen next, and it's a really easy read. So even if it's great. I mean, it's just written well. But if you look at the writing, and the reason why I point this out is because not everybody is like, they see a book like this and they're intimidated. Like, oh, it's a huge book, but you know what? It's got big print. It's easy to see. It's easy on the eyes, and it's easy to read, and it keeps you interested throughout. Is there a reason? Like, did you choose this font for a specific reason?
Yes, easy on the eyes.
Okay.
No, that's the exact reason why.
Nice.
Easy on the eyes, and I did the spacing to because sometimes, when you read something, they're so close together. Like, let's see,
Yeah.
I have a book here that I'm going
Oh,
to be reviewing soon, and no thing in particular. I mean, it's small, it's close together, it's
right.
annoying,
Right.
and
Or you have books like the Bible. Sorry, don't ask me. I'm not an investigator. But look at that. Like, imagine. Like, come on, someone with bad eyes.
yeah. So, I mean, I have perfect vision, but still, it's just like, "Ugh," and it's annoying. So, one of the first things I said to myself was, okay, if I'm going to do this, we're gonna space it somewhat differently and make sure the font is just a tiny bit larger. So it's not
Yeah.
Times New Roman I used Arial font, I think it's called. And then when it came to the dialogue, which I hate writing dialogue by the way, when it came to the dialogue, I did it a specific way, almost like how you write a script so people can actually see who's talking and understand that instead of it being squished together.
And like it's
Clever.
like
Yeah.
ambiguous who's
Yeah.
talking and
Mhm.
pronouns and who's really talking.
Right.
Yes, so it's annoying. So basically, I try to write something that wouldn't annoy me. So if I don't get annoyed, then hopefully other people won't get annoyed.
That kind of reminds me of how Star Wars was written. Um, like especially 1 through 6. There's no going back in time. There's no like flashbacks, and everything's clear cut, and it's almost like not so much monotone, but they literally just say how they feel, and it's very like plain. That way, it's like clear storytelling,
Yeah.
which written in the right way doesn't take away from anything, and it actually allows you to reach a broader audience.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, my cat is joining us. Okay.
what's your cat's name?
Her name is Sweet Pea.
Sweet Pea.
Sweet
Mm-hmm.
pea.
I
Okay.
love that.
Yeah. Well, all right. Join away then.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Paranormal
Yeah.
show. So why not?
Yeah. Why not? All pets are always welcome.
Oh, you're really going to join. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Come say we can interview your cat too.
Yeah.
I would.
She is. Good lord. I did not make this name up, but she is an American ringtail singaling. Yeah.
The
It's
That's
what?
her.
impressive.
You have paperwork on the cat?
Well, I
I
don't need
never.
paperwork because of her tail. Her tail doesn't go straight up. It's curly. Let's see if we can show it real quick. Come on. No, you just want to go to sleep. But show your tail. Okay, fine. Her tail is always curly. It can rest on her spine,
Oh
and when
wow.
she meows, it's almost like singing. It's a very long tune. So
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Nice. Cats and so cats are protective, but there's also a story I remember from when I was a kid about cats that came and stole your soul while you sleep.
Wasn't that a Stephen King movie or something?
Maybe.
I do remember hearing that when a cat when they sleep on you, yeah, they're stealing your breath and your air, and you're going to die. And I'm thinking it was a Stephen King movie where I first heard that, like, cat eyes or something like that. Maybe it wasn't Stephen King, but it was a little troll that was in there and just causing a ruckus, and the cat was actually protecting the family from the sucker. It was a pretty fun movie. It wasn't anything too scary or anything like that, but I specifically remember hearing that story from that movie.
Hmm.
Was it
Yeah,
Cat's Eye?
I think it was Cat's Eye from by Stephen King.
Yeah. Okay. So,
Yeah, but yeah, I was that's just there's all sorts of myths and stuff that come around with animals, and it goes right along with what we've done. And actually, I've always wanted a camera that somehow had a lens that sees things in the same spectrum as cats, and another one that same spectrum as dogs. But you'd have to somehow get like the spiritual aspect into it as well, because there's a certain, I think that dogs and cats can sense and see things that we can't, and there's got to be some sort of connection with the soul probably for that to work in its full effect.
Yeah, I think so. Well, I don't know if you'd be able to create a certain type of lens or not. I mean, I know they have lenses that mimic the eyesight of a cat and dog,
Yes.
etc. But what if you were able to get one of those cameras that they have, like one of those animal cams, and take a dog would probably work easier before a cat to
Hmm.
one of the locations and just like, here you go, have at it, and see what happens there, what the dog will capture, where the dog goes, and perhaps make a map out of that and follow and see and mark the spots where it's most active, etc., etc.
You are a genius. So like instead of like throwing out, like um, because I don't know why I can't think tonight, a psychic or two, seeing like what their hotspots are and comparing those like notes afterwards. You can do the same thing with a pet, either before or after, so kind of like where to investigate, or if they kind of sync up to where your hotspots versus theirs.
Yeah, and it's
Even
a
like bringing like a dog or a cat in the location. Like, does anyone even do that?
I I've seen
I've seen it.
I've seen it, but not a lot.
Yeah.
Very, very rare have I seen it. So I think that would be really cool, and it would give you a different take on something. Like, okay, well, we weren't on this side, and he's going nuts. It might be something there versus, well, we thought everything was here, and it's a dead zone. He's not doing nothing. He's going to sleep.
Yeah.
So,
Especially Sweet Pea. If Sweet Pea's there, all she's doing is sleeping.
oh, good lord, yes. Well, yeah, she's just sleeping. But it is something to think about, I feel. And that's what makes paranormal investigation so interesting, because you come up with some wild theories or experimentations, and sometimes they don't work out, but when they do,
Yeah.
oh boy.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Uh,
That's the
I
truth too. I think that there probably are quite a few locations that would allow to bring pets to on an investigation, and I mean I think that should be part of the research is how it affects pets, because who knows when you're if you're doing a home investigation and they have pets, how is it affecting them, or if there is somebody that has questions, I mean, how does it directly affect them? Everyone's so worried about just the fear of it all. I personally don't think that it's always as scary as people make it out to be, especially as Hollywood makes it out to be. Um, I think that a lot of what we need to do is normalizing the idea of the paranormal and the supernatural, so that people actually aren't as scared of it. I mean, I guess it would take away some of the entertainment value for Hollywood if people weren't as scared of it. But the thing is I mean, this is real life we're talking about. I mean, these are real human spirits, and I think that most of the time that's what we're dealing with is human spirits. I think that it's very few and far between when it's something inhuman.
Yeah, I can agree with that 100%. And now I'm reminded of something that they do in Mexico, a little folklore from Mexico. And it's using birds. I mean, maybe it's not exclusive to there, but this is where I first heard it. And they would take birds into manors or area plantations, some plantations down there that they thought were haunted. And the saying is, if it's an evil spirit or something like that, it'll go for the bird first, and that's your chance to escape. Kind of like the canary in the tunnels. Um, but a bird will react to something, and you
Hmm.
can have them in the cage. And please, guys, don't actually, intend to get a bird hurt if anyone tries. Don't do that. Don't be a bird.
Please.
Um, but you can have them in the cage, it's contained, and, you're with them and you walk in and, if it "Rah, rah, rah," get the heck out, or, something's up.
I think that birds do, though. I mean, I have a big thing about with cardinals. I think a lot of times that they can be symbol of spirit. Also, I think one of the most profound experiences I had when I was first getting into paranormal was with a butterfly.
Mm.
I was in a cemetery. I was at Glendale Cemetery in Akron, Ohio, doing a public ghost hunt. And I was walking around with a friend, and a butterfly landed in front of me. And then it landed on my shoulder, and then it landed behind me. And then I started to walk away, and then it started to. Then as I turned around and walked away, it landed in front of me again. And then it landed on my shoulder again. And then from my shoulder, I went to a footstone of a grave, and I ended up calling some psychic friends over, yelling over because they were over, and we did a little spirit circle there, and that was my first time experiencing crossing spirit over.
Oh, that's
And
really
it was right. I mean, a butterfly led me over there, and
well,
it led me to a spirit.
a
A spirit.
butterfly. I'm sorry, Sean. Didn't mean
No,
to
go
cut
ahead.
you off. A butterfly makes sense because they are a symbol of death and rebirth. So that's amazing.
Yeah.
I didn't
Oh,
know that.
yeah. Japanese lore, butterflies are a symbol of death and rebirth. So wow, that's really cool. You had that
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah, it was one of my first biggest experiences as I was getting into the paranormal years and years ago. So, and it was actually I was giving some advice that night that always followed with me, and I still use it as a rule today. And that's always follow your gut, trust your instincts. And this is right after I found out I was an empath, and we were talking about that. And Abdul, please ask any questions you have. Thank you for tuning in. Um, I was beginning to wonder if our chat was working. I see we have some viewers, but no one's commenting. That's odd for you guys. Come on, guys, what's going on? I
They,
know it's been a
they
while.
they don't know how to approach me. That's what it is. Unfortunately.
Well, guys, Melvin has his own podcast. It's an awesome podcast. He always has really great subjects and really great guests. It is called Unexplained Possibilities. It is on YouTube, and he also has a Facebook page, and it's awesome. And if you ever, he also will he rates other people's like videos and books and stuff, right?
Yeah, I do reviews from
Yeah.
time to time. Oh boy. The reviews can get me into trouble, but yeah, I do reviews. I enjoy them, but I review the paranormal investigations, the documentaries sporadically, only because I don't want to be a jerk if I don't like it, and sometimes people can take it the wrong way when my intention is not to hurt anyone or make you seem like your work is less than. It's because I want it to be the best it can be,
Hmm.
and most of the stuff I enjoy. It's just I know sometimes we can do better, and and sometimes
Yeah.
people don't know how to take that.
Well, I mean, if you're giving a review, I mean, what good is a false review? It's then you're wasting your time. You're wasting everyone's time. So, I mean, and everybody has room for improvement.
Hmm.
So I don't know. I could definitely see, but it definitely is a hard job to do that. And people put a lot of their hard work and their soul into it. So yeah, they might take it personally because they put a piece of themselves into it. But
Yeah, because it
uh,
is personal.
yeah, but I mean, I mean, if there aren't people like you, then people would strive to do better.
Yeah, and let's see. The last review I did was for Our Haunted Mind. So David and Eric, you guys of course know them, and
There are bosses.
so you definitely know
Be
them. No,
careful. Be nice. No, I'm kidding. This
oh
is
no,
where this is where you give the fake review. And no, I'm kidding.
I mean
I'm
you
kidding.
forget I'm an honorary person with Arya. I can say whatever
Yes,
the
sir.
heck I want.
That's true.
No,
That's
Our
true.
Haunted Minds, and I love Our Haunted Minds, and this is one of the few things that I will consistently review whenever they put something up because I caught it at the beginning and I kind of just want to give the guys a hard time.
Mm-hmm.
And and just find some little nitpicky things. But honestly, though, our Haunted Minds is it's really good. It's really cool to see how their minds work and what they do, what they find, etc., etc.
Yeah. I hear they're coming out with a new video this year sometime, so I'm excited about that. And I know we've been trying to get you to come on RU Media and bring Unexplained Possibilities over to RU Media side. At least play some replays. You do so many cool things. You where you have like stories. I remember the last time you came on, you wrote out a story and we were supposed to guess if it was fact or fiction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That's awesome.
Too Crazy to Believe. I do
Yes.
a lot for Unexplained. Too Crazy to Believe. That's the one that's sort of like beyond belief, fact or fiction. Of course, the reviews we just talked about. I do this thing called Tell Me About It, which are just real short, informative videos. So you might want some quick facts about Halloween or necromancy or something like that. And then there is The Fool's Journey, which I particularly like, and I restarted that back up. And that is a small thing teaching you the very basics of tarot reading. So, and I try to put that in a story format, but still give you what it is you need so you can learn tarot.
Yeah.
And probably a couple other stuff that I do, but yeah, I do a lot for Unexplained.
And that's awesome though. I mean, you have such a wide spectrum of what you into and what you dive into and the type of guests that you have and everything. I remember one time you were helping me read my cards in a different way, so we're connecting with my angels.
Mm.
That was an insane experience right there too.
Yeah, using the pendulum.
Yep, we were using the pendulum.
Yeah,
That was awesome.
That was intense.
Yeah.
Man, you look like you went through the ringer after we were done.
Oh, dude, I was so. But see, here's the thing, though. Like being empathic, it takes up my energy to do things like that, and so that it did. It was a little draining, but it wasn't a bad draining. It was, it's just part of the process, and it was just that to me validated it even more. It validated that personal experience for myself and how much of all that really meant. So this is so cool. And so with all the things that you do, though, sorry, we're hop skipping everywhere around because I want to talk about this book. Yeah. Guys, you want a good, fun read. This is a fictional story, and it literally has everything in it. It's got occult. It's got spooks in it. It's got mystery. It's got it all. And it's a good, fun read. I'm always afraid I'm going to give like some spoilers. I know I have to be transparent. I'm at chapter 8, and so that's right where they have 2 days. They have 2 days right now. I don't want to talk about what the 2 days are, but 2 days, and then that's all they got. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Can you help me explain it in such a way that I don't give away spoilers? Because, dude, this is so good, and there's so many. I don't know. I don't even know where to start.
I will say that the main character of the story, his name is Lexington,
Mhm.
and he has a partner in crime whose name is escaping me at the moment. Oh Lord, mind fart, Melvin. I'm getting old. What's his name, Shawn? Well, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Oh my god.
You're getting old too. You're forgetting.
I had notes too. I brought the book downstairs, but I didn't bring my notes. Oh my gosh, because I'm bad like that.
The main character, wouldn't it be on the back? Like the
no.
It's his sidekick.
Yeah. Big
Does it
bra.
I'm
say
Big
like
bra.
no. That's someone else. Well, anyway, we'll just go on with it. Don't worry. So Lex, he has moved
Great.
to a new town, the town of Crescent,
Mhm.
and the town is a bit weird.
Very.
And he's trying to figure out what the heck is going on here. Sometimes people dress the same, they cut their lawn at the same time. It's just odd. And he runs into someone who happens to be who turns into a really good friend of his, and he mentions this guy named Big Bra. And Lex goes and he meets Big Bra, and Big Bra's telling him all the weird stuff. And he's like, "Yeah, don't worry, dude. Totally. It's all set, because Big Bra's a burnt out surfer." And he challenges Lex to figure out what's going on in Crescent in this particular story. And here's what Lex has to figure out. And this isn't too much of a spoiler, guys. He has to figure out why a certain witch whose name is Lamia has an interest in his father, and Lamia just might happen to be a cannibal. Uh-oh.
Yep.
And there's some weird void world that happens, something weird that happens to Lex when he looks into the eyes of Lamia, and he has to figure out why the heck this is going on, as well as one last thing which I can't give away, but it might involve something not of this world. And Big Bro told Lex, "I'll give you three days."
That was 2 days. That's where I'm at right now. I'm at the two
Well,
days.
it's a countdown that's happening. I believe originally
Yeah.
it was 3 days to figure it all out. And if he doesn't, well, he loses. What does he lose? Well, you have to read to find out.
Yeah, there you go.
There we
See, that's so I didn't want to talk too much about that curse or whatever that the 3 days involves. It's really, really cool. And without giving away too much, like so the main character's dad is being very heavily
uh,
affected.
mm-mm.
No? Okay.
Don't know.
It gets really deep, guys, and it's such a
what's
great
the
story.
what's the best way to get it?
It's on
Uh,
oh go ahead.
I
Amazon would probably be the best way.
for you.
I get paid the most, yes.
Okay.
I'll be open and upfront. Amazon, honestly, though, it is the best way because that's where I published it. It's self-published.
So I put the link in the chat. So here's what I did. I ordered it. Then I had it shipped to Melvin because I had to get a signed copy. I had it shipped to Melvin, and he signed it, wrote a really nice message there, and sent it back to me. And
Can you send me the address? I just ordered mine. I mean, it might have. I think it's just like a little tad over 10, right? Ish.
it wasn't bad. No, it was.
I don't know how much. Wait, I don't know how much it was. I just ordered it.
It was $12.99.
Yeah. Okay. And so, like, how long did it take you to write it?
It took longer than it should have. So I'm gonna open up to you guys here. First time I'm ever saying this. It took about a year and a half, 2 years to write it, but I should have had it done in about 6 months, which I would have. But I suffer from depression, and a couple of things happened in my personal life that just hit me hard, and I just stopped writing, and it was just like, ugh, I'm done. I don't care. And it it took a lot to get me back into that headspace to get back going on to it. So if I didn't fall into depression and just not feel like myself, it would have been about 6 months to write it. But since that happened, it took about a year and a half, 2 years to finish the entire thing. And I do want to give a special shout out. He's not listening, but he might listen in the future. His name is he goes by Broken 13, but his name is Jay or Jurian, and he did the cover art. And he actually, I don't know if you guys can see it, but this is the art. He put it on canvas and sent it to me and everything. And he did
That's
an
awesome.
awesome job. And
Well, here, so everyone can see it.
yeah, that's all painted. Like he painted that and took a picture for me and
Wow,
set it up. And it's just,
that's
he
that's
did
awesome.
such a great job.
Now, one thing, the character likes to name his bike. Is there a
Mhm.
reason for that?
Yep. You're not going to find out till the next volume.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I know people that name their cars and name their. I've when I was mountain biking, I knew one guy that named his mountain bike. But his bike, it was always a girl's name, and but I didn't know if there was like a specific reason. But okay,
Yeah.
I'm.
So if you notice, he named the bike Celine, and
Mhm,
then there's the house that is not named, and then the car Alice.
mhm.
Um, his friend's bike he named, I think it was Boris, and yeah. So he likes naming things for whatever reason, and it is a reason, but we will find out in one of the future volumes.
Hmm.
So
Okay,
just think of it as a little quirk of
okay.
Lex's.
Okay. Hey, like it's not. I don't think it's uncommon for people to name things. I was just, I felt like there is a reason, and there is. So
There
cool. I'm
is a
excited
reason.
to
It's
find that.
it's it's a lot of hidden things in there, and there is no one would ever get this, but there is something that I wrote for my best friend, my good friend Ryan. I've known him 20 plus years. I'm aging myself, and it's just one part, and no one will ever figure it out but him. And he actually texted me after he read that part, like, "Did you do this because of it?" Like, yep. It was it was a very fun moment for me, and only he would get it. Um, and I do want to add something as well. So, Sean, on the copy that you have, if you notice, there should be a 2 at the top of the page. I signed it.
There is.
Now, you probably wondered, why the heck is there a 2 there?
Yes.
Because that is the second copy I have signed.
Oh.
So, I figure,
All right.
I will keep track of the signed copies, and so people can know, like, which number you have.
Haha. I'm number 2.
Yeah. Can you guess who number 1 is?
Who?
Me, myself, and I.
I was gonna say, was it you? I was either
Yeah.
gonna be you or someone else that we know together.
No,
I was gonna
it's
start racking my brain. I was like,
yeah, no, I have the, I have the 0 copy, which is, this one, the proof copy, and I have, which it's, elsewhere, I have the number 1 copy, and I signed it. I didn't sign to myself. It's not personalized to me, but it is signed just in case. You never know. It might be worth something.
hey, never know. This could be the beginning of like the next like Harry Potter series or something. You never know.
Maybe.
You never know.
Um,
This could be a cool, really, really cool series.
yeah. So I do have a set number that I have a stopping point. So the overall story, I have it all figured out in my head. It's just not being lazy and writing it all out. And it's going to go on for a minute, and I do hope
Yeah.
people enjoy it, and it brings out that inner child, and where they have fun, they go on an adventure, and just enjoy.
And we need more adventure stuff. Like people are like talking about there was I forgot what I was with a group of people. I think we were doing this FaceTime thing. We were talking about like how movies are now. We need more adventure stuff like the Goonies and like the
Mm.
Dark Crystal and things like that. Like you said, like back in the 80s and the 90s when there was like adventure, even like Indiana Jones, even the Night at the Museum, like there's no good like adventures like that. And this is, I mean, it's a little bit darker adventure, but hey, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't know, guys, if you like that stuff, I'm telling you, Melvin is such a great storyteller. That's why I was so excited to get this book, because I already knew, after knowing Melvin and being a part of his shows and having him on our show and just knowing him for, I don't even, how many years has it been now, Melvin? It's been a while.
Yeah, at least 5 years, maybe 5, 6.
Yeah, it's been a while now. But we gotta figure out something to meet in person. Maybe find a haunted location there in SoCal. And
I'm not going to a haunted location. I saw what you're trying to do there. I'll go to a burger joint, no problem.
Yeah, and I mean, 2 years of passion for like $12. I mean, that's like 50 cents a month or something. So I just ordered my copy. I'm also gonna ship it to Melvin to get it signed. So I'll get the info from.
Okay. So to save you some money, cancel that, and I'll give you my address off air, and you could just send it directly to me, so
And then
we can
boom,
save
boom.
them. Yeah,
that's what we did. Man, Melvin is awesome. And man, so what really got you started on writing the story, though? I mean, this story is what gave you this idea? What turned on that light bulb in your head for this story? What motivated?
A woman.
Oh,
like all things, a woman. It didn't work out, but something did come from it. No, in all seriousness, and I actually mentioned her in the book. Her name's Angie, and she was the one who said, "All right, come on, you got to do something. You have talent. You're a good storyteller, and you need to share this. And if you don't share this, then I'm going to yell at you." Like, well, we don't need that. And I was thinking about what type of story could I tell, because my background, I started off writing scripts, screenplays, and at first I was going to convert one of those into something, but I changed my mind. And she said, if you can't get a movie, then do a book. And it was something I never thought about before. And it's like, yeah, with print on demand and how easy it is to do now, it's like, why didn't I do this before? I felt like an idiot. But yeah, Angie, Angelica, she is the reason for this and the inspiration for the book, and not really the story, but getting the book itself out. The story, like I said, that is inspired by my love of Erie, Indiana, and Goosebumps and Twilight Zone, and it just came to me. It's like, okay, what's something we can do that gives a little love to Erie, Indiana? Like, even the cover art, it's if you guys ever watched Erie, Indiana, it's kind of like that, where we see the lead character in Erie, Indiana, Marshall. I think his name was Marshall. He's on his bike in front of a sign, "Welcome to Erie, Indiana." I was like, I'm gonna do something like that, but welcome to Crescent.
Okay.
I hope that answered the question. I felt like I just did some word vomit there.
Well, I mean, it's probably hard to nail it down to one thing, but it's definitely really cool that you had a friend to help motivate you to do this and get this done. And it's I like how, I mean, I don't know. Sometimes we need someone to kick us in the ass. You were doing the screenplay. I remember talking to you about screenplays years back, and this is what it's actually. I know someone else who's written a screenplay, and they're trying to figure out what to do with it from now. So it's actually funny that's coming up again now. But it's probably a story that you would like, Melvin. I think. But it's to get that motivation and then to actually put it down on paper and then take it to the next step and have it published. I can't tell you how many things I have written and thrown away, or written and burnt. And some of them were stories, some of them were thoughts, some of them were poems, some of them were like all different things, but I never kept one of them. And so it's to have you do this and then put a piece of you in this and share your story like that. It's awesome that you're able to do that. I think that's for anyone that wants to come out with something, what would you advise to anyone who's trying to come out with a book or a series of their own?
Just do it. Because here's the thing. You can come up with a million excuses why I shouldn't do this. People aren't going to like it. It's not going to be good enough. And it doesn't matter. If you like it, then do it. And that's the best advice I can give you. Like, even if it takes 5, 10 years, doesn't matter. Do it, especially if you have that passion, if you have that love. Otherwise, you're just going to let it vanish like a fart in the wind. And don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell me about it. Don't do that. That's okay. It sounds like I need to take some of your advice, and because you're
Yeah.
right, that's exactly what happens. For me, the way it started is for me, and why I did that is because it was my release. I would put how I was feeling onto paper, one way or another, and sometimes it did come out as a story. But that was like my release, and part of my release was destroying it. If that makes sense. So I would go and I would burn it or tear it up, and also that way no one knew my thoughts, so it kept it as my own. But now I kind of think like, man, I could have put together probably some pretty cool, uh, short stories or something together. I don't know. I don't know if I'm such a great writer or anything like that, but I don't know. You never know. You never know unless you do it.
You know what you could have done too, and this is why I do like print on demand. You could have just got it all organized and put together, and you could have just got one thing made, one book made specifically for you.
Right.
And I mean, but we're talking like you can't do this. Like, no, you can still do
I'll
it.
still do it. It's just,
You know,
those things that are gone are,
yeah,
literally and blown in the wind.
but that's something that I would tell everyone never to do. Don't rip up your thought. I mean, well, the reason why you did it makes sense though. Like I'm seeing it from oddly enough, we could see it from a ritual occult way because they do say write everything out, get it out of your system and rip it. And that's the end of it. You know, you're free from whatever that burden is, whatever it is that's putting that weight on you. So I get that. But other things, it's like, no, don't do that. Keep it, write it, develop it, let it evolve, let it flow, and make something out of it. Because I can guarantee you, if it's not yourself, then it'll be someone else who will be interested in it, who will like it. And sometimes, even if you're just writing out words of hardship and how you got over being in a dark place or whatever, that can go a long way because it's always someone dealing with something. And it helps knowing that there's another person out there who went through it and they survived. They're doing okay. That is inspiring. So, yeah, definitely. Like, dude, if you get to that point again, write that mess out.
I could, I've kind of been wanting to write something, but I don't know. It's always been in the back of my head. There's a point in time when before I even got into paranormal, I have a friend that graduated college with a writing degree, And it's like, hey, you know, now that you're graduated and you have a degree for English and all that, I'm like, we should sit down and you should write a biography on me. And then he was like, no, dude, fuck that. Write your own. I was like, what? And so ever since he said that, though, that did stick with me. And he's right. I should write my own maybe one day. And maybe one day it would help somebody, or maybe one day help someone have some laughs or whatever. So maybe that's always been like and now like with the parent, you know, having these 12, 15 plus years, I don't know how long I've been doing the paranormal now. You know, that even adds more to the story and more to the adventure. So I don't know. Who knows what may come in the future?
Yeah, I mean, and then if you, and this is the beauty of the modern age, if you yourself have trouble trying to format or write it, then dictate your story to someone else who can. You know, like the Pfeiffer or whatever it's called, that exists, and people there are very talented and usually affordable. So, there are options. It's just you might suffer from my problem. We're lazy.
What? No.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ultimately,
Yes.
that's what it boils down to.
Yes.
We're lazy, but this is where you have to get disciplined. And even if
Yeah.
it's only a paragraph a day, how many days are in the week? Or excuse me, in a year, 365 and a half.
Mhm.
So a paragraph a day, you will get something flowing by an entire year just by doing a
That's true.
paragraph a day.
That's actually a really good idea. Paragraph a day. And then there are gonna be days where you get that like extra motivation and you write out more than that.
Mm.
So that actually makes a lot of sense. Um, maybe, who knows? Maybe one day there will be but I won't be like the memoirs of Sean Gilmore, because I'm not that special, but it'll be some sort of crazy title to catch your eye. But it's to I always just kind of like envy people who are able to put their work out like that. And whether if it's, you know, a book, that's one of the reasons why I do the
Mm.
podcast, whether it's a book, a documentary, a podcast, you know, all the things that you do. And then but this right here, come putting together something like this to for people to enjoy. It's not just informational, um it's everyone needs a getaway at some point in time. Life gets hard for everybody at some point in time. So, well, you know, that's when they pick up the fictional stories, because they need that getaway. So, not and when someone's looking to get away, are they going to read an autobiography, or are they going to want to read a story like this? Me personally, I would go for the fictional story, because that's where that's where your imagination can really go. And as you're reading the book, you picture it in your head like the movie's playing in your head. And so it's just to be able to do that and give people that sort of a gift. I mean, and even if, you know, we bought our books, so how is it a gift? Well, it's a gift because you're helping me escape the stresses of life for a couple hours while I'm reading the book each day, you know. So it's pretty cool thing to do.
I looked back at the piece that I was working on, and embarrassingly, the last alteration was March of 2021. Um, I have there's like 3 sections, and I kind of wrote out a rough draft slash it's basically done, but obviously needs looked at. And it's like 105 pages, 25.7K words, so like a considerable amount of time. And yeah, I guess I just also have been lazy and focusing on work and other things. So my promise to you is that it will be done by the end of the year. So
Oh,
I will act on that, Melvin. I see exactly what you're saying, and I see your passion and your willingness to work through all of your challenges, and I will also do that. So
Right on. All right, we're gonna hold you to that. This is on camera too.
I
Oh
know
yeah.
it. Oh, this is all over the interwebs.
it is.
So
It is
we're
recorded.
gonna. He's. That's what you got to do. You got to do things like this, announce it to the world. Now you have to hold yourself accountable.
Oh, I do want to say too, if you guys, whoever's listening, if you are interested in So Strange Times Volume One, but you're not really sure if you should make that purchase or not, I do have the prologue and the first chapter available for listening on Unexplained Possibilities. So
Ooh.
if you want a bit of an audiobook experience, be sure to go to Unexplained and just put in So Strange Times and it will come up.
So is this you reading the book?
Yep.
I was going to ask if you were going to do something with an audio book or something like that. Actually, the guy that does our intro, I was kind of listening to it. I have to edit it. That sound quality as we're listening to it today. I was like, man, I need to fix that. But either way, he does readings too. So it's kind of a cool thing. And actually, there's another guy in the paranormal community where he had me read a short story from a thing that he did on his YouTube channel. So like it's just such a cool thing to do. And it makes not everybody likes to sit down and read. So a lot of people like to listen to stuff as they're driving. So that would be another good way and another opportunity to get your story out there.
Yeah. So I'm thinking about an audiobook and I would be the one doing the reading. And it's just I don't know how I would distribute it. That's the only issue. And I was looking at Amazon again, and they want you to jump through some hoops and barrels just for that.
Really?
Make sure it's this chapter, and it has to be separated by this and this and this. And it's like,
Oh wow.
really, guys? Can't I
Wait,
just do a one shot?
right. Can't you just like do
So,
that? And then when people purchase the book, they get along with the purchase.
yeah, but I
Mhm.
understand why they want it broken into chapters the way they do. It's so they can actually skip to that chapter and
Uh,
all of that. But it requires more work on my end. But again, we've established I'm lazy. So, you know, um, but yeah, I am thinking about an audiobook and I'm, you know what? I'll say it here first. I am probably going to do a special edition hardcover, limited special edition hardcover, and that's going to include little bits of lore for Crescent, the characters. It's going to have corrections from mistakes because I'm the editor as well, and it bugs me when I catch things. It's like, why didn't I see this before?
Mhm.
Um, so it will have fixes there, but it would be a very limited time only. So maybe 25 to 30 books will be available, and that's it for the hardcover. But I will have them digitally signed, meaning that I will scan my signature and a few words into the book itself.
oh, that's
So,
cool.
yeah, so that
Yeah,
would be
it's
kind of
cool.
cool, I think, but limited.
It's awesome. So
You,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
you, I was just gonna say you mentioned your YouTube, and I go on there, and you've got so much stuff. Um, I'm I'm like an anal person that likes to number things because I think it's cute. Like this is our paranormal podcast number 138. It shows kind of that we've done way too many. Um, 5 years ago, you stopped numbering your podcasts with episode number 25, and you kind of just left them unnumbered. Was there a reason why you stopped numbering them?
Yeah, I got tired of seeing the numbers. um, it's two reasons. I actually got tired of seeing the numbers, and I prefer to like write in the guess or come up with witty titles. Right now, I'm
Mhm.
just writing in the guess, and I don't like the numbers there with the guess. That's the only reason.
I'm a numbers guy, so I get it.
Yeah. So, and I'm
Um,
not a numbers person. It's just
okay,
no,
yeah.
I can't do numbers. So
Hot
that's
sauce and
all.
cold showers,
No,
words and numbers.
no. But the good thing is everything is in a playlist.
Yeah.
So I will say that YouTube auto numbers it. So
Okay.
that's
Okay.
that's how we do that.
Sorry, what were you gonna say, Sean?
I was just wondering if you have any plans of like bringing your book to like any sort of cons or events where people might be able to see you in person.
Um, I can't say the thought has crossed my mind, but I am hoping once I get a few more out there, and not just so strange times, but like at the moment I'm working on something else. It's not so strange, and maybe then I might be able to swing something where it's like, oh look, he actually has titles behind his name. Oh look, people actually like this. So I think it needs more time to stew before I'm able to really go to any cons or something like that.
Okay. Hey, whatever. It's your business plan. I was just curious to, because there's a lot of people that like to go to those events and just
Mhm.
to find books exactly like this that they wouldn't normally find. Um, and with that, have you like reached out to your public library? Like, can people find this at the library at all?
Not yet. Now this is one thing. Like I probably would reach out for a second edition, but after I hire an editor to make sure everything is fixed. Because if I'm going down that route, I want it to be perfect,
Okay.
you know. And I'm thinking for a second edition, I will hopefully I will have the money for an editor and have them fix all the little mistakes. And then I plan to see if libraries or schools would be interested in it. Probably not schools. They'll be like, this is too dark. Get this out of here. What are you doing? But a library would be pretty awesome.
I think so. Okay. I was just curious. I mean, all the different ways that people may be able to find you in your book. You had mentioned that there are other ways for people to find your book other than Amazon.
Yeah. So it is on Barnes and Nobles and a few other smaller uh, bookstores that you can find it on. It's just I push Amazon because I'm going to be candid. I make more money from Amazon.
Okay.
And it's
So
easier.
yeah,
It's
it's a
easier.
little easier. So, but if you don't like Amazon, there's Barnes and Nobles and a few other bookstores. I can't think of their names, but it's available at more than one place.
Awesome. What's your favorite thing about this book?
Does finishing count?
I mean,
um,
that wasn't quite the answer I was looking for, but I mean, I
no,
suppose, yeah, that would count.
in all seriousness, I would have to say because I was rereading it to for some other reasons. I won't say what reasons just yet, but it's the adventure. Like I really enjoy the adventure and the mystery of what the heck is going on. And that's what I personally love with storytelling. The what the heck is going on? I'm invested. Take me on this adventure so I can see how it ends, see if I can figure it out. And yeah, that's my favorite thing. I love that.
I can see that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Plus finishing it.
Let's finish again.
And so volume 2?
Volume 2 will be worked on sometime this year. I won't say it'll be out this year, but it will be worked on sometime this year.
Paragraph a day.
Well, I am working on something else, so maybe not a
Uh,
paragraph a day with
Mm,
that
okay.
one.
So, do you have any ideas of like a screenplay or something for this storyline though?
Uh, no, So Strange is 100% going to be a book series no
Okay.
matter what. That one is just I have other stuff for the screenplays. Uh, I don't think I've ever shared this publicly, but I won't say the title. However, it's one of the reasons why I won't watch Game of Thrones because it involves dragons and it's oh boy. It's set in its own universe. It's oh, good lord, that's opening a can of worms. We'll just say that it's a D&D campaign and
Okay.
it involves dragons, princesses, warriors, a kingdom under fire, and freedom. Now, the freedom part is particularly interesting because that's the overall theme for that story. What is freedom?
that's
Right.
cool.
So, where can we find the story?
Whenever someone wants to make it into a TV show or
Okay,
something.
okay, okay. So what do you do with these screenplays? Like, do you put them on a website? Like, what do you do with the screenplay once it's written? Like, how can people find it?
Well, I'm very protective of my work, so I
Mm.
don't necessarily put them out just anywhere, but I contact producers. Like, I do know some people, so I actually contact producers and other writers and whatnot to see if I can get things done or made.
Hmm.
But here's the thing. I'm very protective of my work, and I have a disagreement with how the entertainment industry is at the moment, and I don't think they would do things justice because I'm very peculiar about stories.
Mm.
So instead, I'm just going to figure out how to make everything myself.
Okay,
Like I know it's a tall order, but that's what I'm going to do. And instead of it being live action, I converted majority of my stories to be animated.
oh, that's cool. That's cool
Yes.
too. Well, I
That
mean,
is
look at
cool.
I mean Kevin Smith. I mean, he does comedy, but I mean, he started out doing very low budget films, and he got
Yeah.
out there by doing that.
Yeah.
Why can't Melvin?
I could tell you why, but it would be diving into some stuff
Oh,
that I can't exactly share.
oh, okay, okay. Well, we don't want to. I don't want to dig too deep into that.
Yeah.
I just think it's so cool how you do that, and you have all this work that you've put out there, and if there's any way for that to get notoriety or whatever, definitely would love
Yeah.
to help promote that. That's all.
Yeah.
Um,
I appreciate it. But right now I'm really happy with writing books, which
good.
like I said, it was never on my radar before. So thank you, Angie. All you.
Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. And now you have this, and you have a platform that you're building on top of your YouTube channel. That's you before the show you had mentioned that's growing. What can you tell people about your podcast series and your brand of Unexplained Possibilities?
Okay. So I with Unexplained Possibilities podcast, it's no real theme that I follow. A lot of times, like you said earlier, I will have guests from various backgrounds. I mean, occultists, paranormal investigators, witches, Bigfoot hunters, the works. And it's because I want that diversity and I didn't want to get caught in sticking with the single thing. At first it was going to be all about aliens, but I changed from that, thankfully. And I like speaking to people about everything. I had a Scientologist on, former Scientologist, excuse me, and that was a great conversation. So with Unexplained Possibilities, you go there if you want to hear about experiences from real people, not Hollywood, not dramatic, nothing like that, but real people who talk about their experiences, share with the audience the magic that they create, or things of that nature,
Hmm.
and come away entertained, because that's the primary thing that I want, to entertain you. Like, you might learn a thing or two, but ultimately, I want you to leave entertained and say, "Oh, wow,
Entertain.
that was fun," and hopefully you
Yeah.
come back for more. And, you might get a striptease from me if you're really lucky.
Oh,
Oh my gosh.
No,
I,
actually, I
I heard
did.
that they're making a paranormal show like
Yeah, segue, here you go.
that. Oh, sorry. I'm not plugging that, but it's funny. Uh, um, so man, guys, you know what? So there's a new thing here that we have a new partner here, and since the boss has chimed in, that was a good time, I think, for us to go ahead and plug our new sponsor here. So we'll be back here in about a minute. Here we go.
If you can dream it, you can stream it. With a full production studio at your fingertips.
Presto! Watch me how I do it now. Presto! Presto!
Connect up to 9 iOS devices and edit live.
Presto!
With multiple camera angles and professional graphics.
Got all eyes on me, everybody talking whoa. Cause everything I do, I got them saying whoa.
Interact with your viewers and show live comments. And invite remote guests from all over the world.
Spinning around, dropping it low. Ooh la la, ooh la, ta-da, presto. Here's what I got, ready or not.
Share it everywhere.
How I do it now. Presto! That's how I do it. Presto!
Even sell live. Shopify users can integrate their collections and use Carter to sell products during their Facebook Lives.
I make it look so easy just like that, presto. I got you buzzing, feeling this and saying whoa.
All on iPhones and iPads.
Presto.
Try your free trial at switcherstudio.com today.
Dang, we're moving up in the world. That was a legit commercial, y'all. That was that was awesome. And so, guys, thank you to our sponsor. And guys, please make sure that you guys are asking questions. Melvin has such a plethora of different information, and he's just so well versed. Any questions you may have for him, please don't be afraid to ask. With that, Melvin, what do you use to motivate yourself? If you are having some sort of a bad day where you're not able to put anything on paper, or you're creatively stumped, is there anything that you do to get those creative juices flowing? Did that come out wrong?
No. It didn't come out wrong. It's just, I don't think people will necessarily understand this, but it's two things that I do. One, I eat something because I'm a glutton. Two, I fall into a character. I act things out. And that usually gets something spinning and turning. Like, I will literally run around my living room and pretend like I have a sword or something, just and turn into a little kid, because that's where your imagination comes from. It's that inner kid, and then things start flowing because you're starting to put the picture and the pieces together. For instance, like, I'll use me running around with the sword. Like, I'll have my baseball bat or something. I'm just running around and just ooh, and the bat turns into a sword, and now I'm sword fighting the Black Knight, and we're on top of this wall, and I'm trying to defeat him so I can get to the princess and save her, only to realize maybe I'm not the hero, I'm the villain, and I'm not trying to save her, I'm trying to kidnap her.
Oh,
And why am I trying to kidnap her? Well, I'm doing it for revenge because her family killed my family, and she had a chance to rectify that, but she didn't, and she's really not a nice person at all. So maybe she's the villain, I'm the hero, and I'm
Mm,
seeking revenge, and that's how it gets flowing.
wow. I think that's
that's
great
cool.
advice, except I don't know if you can see it right there. It's a little tint of blue right next to my map there.
Mhm.
It's a haunted map of Ohio. All the Sasquatch sightings, UFOs, paranormal sightings are on that map, but it's an old one. So I keep it down here for decoration. But hanging right there, there's a little blue thing. That's actually a real sword that I keep there for no good reason other than I think it's cool. So if I start following that around, I have too many computers that wouldn't survive.
Yeah, let's just
So
get some.
use it as purely motivational technique, purely get the creative juices flowing. Do not turn it into an opportunity to release negative energy.
Yeah, don't turn into a samurai.
Don't turn it into a samurai. I like that idea though, because you're so right. Like I watch my youngest daughter. She plays with her dolls and she does her, and she uses her imagination so much. And then my elder teenage son, like he's athletic and everything, and he doesn't use his imagination for anything. And I kind of like watch the way that they like kind of play and interact. And you're right. You got to go and pretend and get your mind into that mode. I like that a
Mhm.
lot. Maybe I should try doing that when I start writing my paragraph a day. I'm doing this paragraph a day thing. I like that's like maybe it'll turn into something.
Yeah.
Maybe it won't.
Now, if you
I don't know.
really want to do it, like be truly committed, then pick someone who you're close with and snap a shot of your paragraph a day, send it to them, and stay committed that way, because there are going to be times where it's just like, I'm not doing this, I don't feel like it, I don't want to, but you need someone to help you stay accountable as well. So have someone involved with you, or you guys could help each other. Heck,
Yeah.
Sean, there you go. Like Brian said, by the end of this year, he will have his
Mhm.
stuff happening. All right. So
Right.
Sean, show him your paragraph a day. And then
Who?
Brian, every week or every other week, bi-weekly, when you do our paranormal
Give 'em a
podcast, you could give us an update if
right.
Sean stayed and kept his word. That's how you do it.
Yeah. This
So
Sean was
sh-
to kick my butt at that boxing thing that one time.
What? That was all Brian trying to do that.
There was
I gotta get
there's
the doctors clear to do anything like get in here. So Brian and his paranormal team, or our paranormal team, your paranormal team,
this is
they do a
this
no
is
headshot
hypothetical. This is
boxing.
hypothetical.
Is it? I don't feel like it is.
It's all hypothetical.
Uh-huh.
But go ahead. Go ahead.
Huh. I was gonna say you do this, and it's a great motivator for people. I just need, and Brian likes to call me out on this, so I will do
That's not
this boxing with him, and he does it because he wants to help motivate me, be healthy, and have healthy habits and all that. And
You see, he
I
said that, but he doesn't
appreciate what he's
believe it.
saying.
No, he doesn't.
I do, but the thing is that here's the thing: I have 8 screws in my back, and I'm extremely out of shape. So I have to get doctors cleared before I do anything. My wife won't even let me talk to the doctors.
So here's the script, Melvin. You love scripts. Here's the motivation. When you look at paranormal teams, you think of the ones on TV. You talk about being scripted. Paranormal TVs. They have more 6-packs than they see actual ghosts on the shows. But in the real life paranormal field, not a lot of teams focus on health. So our paranormal team, your paranormal, we host quarterly no headshot boxing events. Hypothetically, this is all hypothetical. It's not true, and it's to promote health. And the only reason we did this versus like, hey, let's sign up for some 5Ks, every once in a while, throughout the year, was that we all like the UFC stuff, and this is something that you're not trying to get hurt, hit in the head or anything. This is like you're tapping shoulders. Now, the real magic is not the tapping of shoulders. The real magic is the camaraderie, the training, the giving you something to train towards. So it's getting in shape. It's, training slow, and then you don't even have to go hard. It's just out there tapping shoulders. It's a cute time. So, and then, I brought this up. I was like, hey, it's something cute that we do. And Shawn, like a year ago, was like, dude, I'm going to beat you up. And I was like, I almost feel threatened. I was like, oh my. That's like,
oh, yeah, okay.
We do this for fun. We do this for health. And Shawn gets into it, man. I'm going to smash you, mate. I'm going to smash you up. I'm going to, oh, you're just some youngster. You don't know. Like back in the day, I used to rough them up. Like, you don't know that I can go into beast mode. Like you see Shawn now, but you don't know. I got the killer instinct. I said, we're just out here trying to have a good time. So that's what he's referring to.
Yeah, it's funny.
I actually have a promo for it that I actually want to show you right now.
Oh Jesus!
I always tell.
Oh my gosh! Wait, that was supposed to be the end of the abyss section that for some reason was cut off in the video. Melvin, I don't have access to StreamYard anymore, so I can't throw it up and.
Oh, so is it on here?
Yeah. Here. Rewind 20 seconds.
Yeah,
here's the hype video.
Wait, what do you? This would be.
You've experienced investigation.
I don't know. Is this?
You've experienced investigations. This.
I don't know what you're talking
What
about.
is this amateur hour? Come on,
I
man.
don't know what he's talking about.
Because none of us noticed it was on.
I'm gonna get reviewed. No,
I don't know what you're talking about.
There's got to be a video on there. The End of the Abyss section.
Oh, for Into the Abyss.
I mean, I figured that was coming. There we go.
Where is the End of the Abyss thing?
It was.
It's gone. No,
video.
seriously, it's the End of the Abyss thing is gone.
This is what happens when I lose.
No, it's legit. I know what you're talking about now. It is gone. This is all we got right now.
Welcome, Melvin. This is the fun section of the podcast where we ask you 13 fast fire questions. You got to answer them as quickly yet as thoroughly as possible. Welcome, Melvin, to Into the Abyss in the most clean and smooth segue you've ever seen, my friend.
I do.
Are you excited?
Apologize.
I am excited.
You don't have to apologize. I'm the bum. All right.
It's not on here. It's what did you do? Did you delete it?
I haven't had access in months, but it's fine.
Oh.
It says in my new book,
The doors kept opening.
you should trust your instincts.
Go for it.
This is crazy, isn't it?
That's right, Melvin. Welcome to Into the Abyss section, part of the podcast where we ask you 13 fast fire questions. You got to answer them as quickly yet as thoroughly as possible. Melvin, this is the first time in 2023. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Go ahead, Shawn.
What am I doing?
You're going to say all eyes on you.
Oh. Dude, I'm so out of practice. This is so bad. Wow, guys. Welcome to 2023, guys. All right, my bad. All eyes on you, brother.
All right, Melvin, I'm going to give you number 1 and number 13 as a reference point. Number 1, what is the most wild experience you had during an interview?
Most wild experience I had during an interview. Actually, it probably has to go back when I was speaking with Eric, Shawn, Amber, when Ectovision Paranormal was happening, and we caught an EVP, a voice that came through, and uh, I think it was Eric who reacted and even said, like, "Was that you? Oh, excuse me, was that you?" That was that was crazy.
That was crazy.
That's awesome. Hey, who's a braver investigator, Melvin or Sweet Pea?
Oh, we're actually both cowards. Um, but I would actually have to say me in this case because she won't do anything without me. If I'm behind her, then she gets tough and bold. But if I'm not there, she comes running in.
Now, Melvin, you are a master of interviewing. What's the key to success to be a good person that interviews others?
Don't put people on a pedestal and remember that we're all the same and have fun. That's the key.
Now, speaking of advice, what's the number one advice for people trying to share their paranormal adventure using YouTube?
Don't expect perfection. It's no such thing as perfect, and everything is going to go wrong. And just go with it. Enjoy it and keep putting things out no matter what. Put something out. It doesn't have to be perfect, but put it out and you enjoy it.
Okay. Now, sometimes the world tells you to slow down, you're doing too much. Can you please elaborate on the statement, the right thing, just not the right time?
Right thing, but not the right time. So basically, what this means is you have to understand that we all want greatness of some sort. We all want to be remembered. Even though you think you're ready, the world may not be ready for you. So during that time period, when the world isn't ready, you take time to refine your craft, whatever that may be, look into yourself, understand yourself better, and just grow within until that time is right. When the world is ready, people are ready, and you're officially ready because when we think we're ready, we're not.
Now, where do you find your passion to review all of these books and other pieces of paranormal content?
Oh, well, I like entertainment, and since I like being entertained, it's a very selfish reason, but since I like being entertained, then if I can help someone improve on their skills, their craft, that means I get more entertainment from it. So
Yeah.
it's a very selfish reason.
I love it. What is the largest challenge in publishing a passion like So Strange Times?
The criticism.
Mm.
You have to be ready for criticism because again it goes back to it's no such thing as perfect and not everyone's going to like what you put out and some people are malicious and then some people are giving constructive criticism, so that's one of the hardest things, putting yourself out there and hearing the feedback, hearing the criticism that comes with it. Sometimes you have to toughen up and understand that not everyone is giving it to you to hurt you, but it's to, again, help you improve because they actually enjoyed what it was that they read and they want you to improve so they can enjoy it more.
Amen. Now, on a scale of 1 to 10, how haunted is California?
Let's go with the 13.
Mm.
See what I did there?
Hey, I'm tracking you. Now, take a gander to your left for a second. What is the most meaningful item on your table there?
Oh, that's easy. This lamp.
Okay.
And the reason for that is because it belonged to my grandmother and it's well over 40 years old.
Wow. Now you see, like a lot of people will look at the table and look at everything that you're displaying. But what's interesting and, just another, I guess, fun thing of life is it's sometimes what you don't see in the background that is the most meaningful. I really like that, Melvin. Hey, what does it mean for you to bring a fun 90s-esque story to 2023?
It means that I did something right and I get to share a time where I grew up in with people who may not have experienced it or never got that type of story before. And it's literally sharing a piece of me, a piece of my childhood with anyone who picks it up and reads it, the world, essentially. And it brings a smile to my face because, it's like, wow, this is huge. I did this. And someone somewhere is enjoying it.
Yeah.
And ultimately that means, they enjoy me and I brought them a little piece of happiness.
Man, that's impactful. How does one keep a positive attitude when facing negativity in our field?
You have to remember that anything negative, it's temporary. And we're surrounded by people who share with us their positive energy, their positive attitudes, and you take that on. So, no matter how dark it gets in our lives, in the field, wherever, whatever, it's always a bright spot. It's always someone who is sharing their brightness with us. We just have to open up and accept it. And we realize that maybe things aren't as dark as they seem, and we're able to move and push past it.
Okay. Now, some would say you ghost hunting would be an unexplained possibility. What would it take for you to embark on a paranormal investigation? Just kidding, Melvin. It's story time. Whatever your motivation, you find yourself in a haunted asylum. You have a dim flashlight, an extra pair of underwear, and a walkie talkie. Now you hear a voice from the walkie talkie. Dear Melvin, you must stay in this asylum for the next 24 hours. You will be provided food, water, one guest, and 3 pieces of paranormal equipment. Melvin, what is the meal that you request? And the one guest you would bring, and the 3 pieces of paranormal equipment.
Bacon wrapped shrimp,
Mm.
Elizabeth Hurley, give me digital recorder, give me a REM pod, and give me a video camera with night vision.
My man Melvin, you killed it. Hey, one last question, number 13. Look, you give the best questions, you give the best interviews, you give your heart, soul, passion to the community in the form of reviews, books, and just you being genuine and you wanted to help others. And for that, of course, we thank you. What's one message to the paranormal community that you've garnered, your community? You go back to your YouTube channel. You've been doing this for so many years. What's one message to the community that you've been able to cultivate for those years?
Do what you love, regardless of what others say, what they think. Do what you freaking love. Because as long as you love it, it's meaningful and it takes you places, it takes you somewhere. Don't quit doing what it is that you love. And understand too that you deserve to do what you love, no matter what.
That is what's up, Melvin. I think that was a beautiful way to end the End of the Abyss section, my friend. That was very good.
I just had to figure out how to do the solo view and then remove the solo view. Dude, Brian, we got to get you connected back
I'm a
into
bum.
StreamYard.
I
What's going
know.
on? What's going on?
I'm just letting Shawn take all the
You have the
heavy work.
passwords. I know.
I'm
I
not
did.
doing it. Okay, but here's the thing. So like when you log in, you gotta like get it verified, and I don't have like the Gmail all set up, and
Why don't
it's
you have the Gmail set up? Then I can give you the password. I can give you the code.
all right. One of these days,
Message me, be like, Shawn.
Before
what
the
is
next
code?
podcast, we're gonna get this figured
That's
out.
next week.
I know
We haven't had a show in like a month, and now we have 2 shows back to back, and then we're gonna go another couple weeks without a show. Reason being, I just want to explain this real quick because next week we're gonna be back with Mike Ricksecker, another good friend, and I'm excited to have him on. And then we're gonna go another 2-3 weeks without a show. Reason being, 2, 1, I don't want to compete with the Super Bowl. That's going to be, everyone's going to be watching that. I'm not going to compete with it. And the second reason is my birthday. Sorry. I'm going to be celebrating my birthday one of those days, and we'll not be able to have a podcast. So we are, again, I'm going to have a little bit of a hiatus, but we're going to come back. We have some awesome guests that are going to be coming, and I have some people that I'm talking to that I'm really excited to get on the show. So guys, I thank you all for being supportive, even after this long of a hiatus and everything, and being able to have Melvin come on and talk about his amazing new book and everything. Guys, please go check out his book. I'm telling you, you will not be upset that you spent that $12 on that book, because it's a great read and it'll flow. And I'm sure that there's gonna be many people who read it very quickly. Me personally, I'm not able to read quickly. I got to take my time. Also, I have ADHD, so I have to be aware of all the squirrels that run by. It's going to happen. You guys probably, I don't know. You guys can see, like right now, I'm fidgeting with batteries. Like I can't. So,
and like we appreciate Melvin saying, like, hey, if you're on the fence, come listen to the preface and the first chapter and listen. This is $12, and I know $12 is a lot to people. This is something that you should save for if you need to save for it. This is something 50 cents a month that was put heart and soul into this. This is entertainment. You spend I don't know how much on XYZ. This will entertain you for hours. This is not some company produced BS. This is we got to do this for the algorithm. Produced content that'll make you happy. This is from the soul. This is a passion project. $12 is absolutely worth it to not only support Melvin, who is a phenomenal individual, and you can see it on this podcast, on his own podcast, on all the questions, how charismatic he is, how he actually wants to better people, wants to learn and care for people. All that there, he's not asked for anything, and he's not even asking for you to get the book. He's just saying if you want more entertainment, more content, more love from him. I mean, to me, unless you want to listen to Melvin, which is like a whole new like audio experience, I'm with you on that. Man, I did not hesitate. I was off here doing this. Man, I got the book. It was a no-brainer for me, and you should have. And it's as easy as that. And the best way to support you is on Amazon. Mm-hmm. The best way to support you is the easiest way to get it. That is a no-brainer.
Right, for sure.
So there's my word vomit. I know you were talking about it earlier. I just sit here and I have a lot to say and I think about a lot. And I mean, when it comes to it, you got to do it.
There is a question here from History and Headlines real quick. He had asked,
you were talking about tarot cards earlier.
Yes. So this is why I'm kind of bringing this up real quick. He asked if he had a chance to see a giant tarot card in Midway Hotel in Pennsylvania. Now, before I get to the question, when Brian asked you about the most important item on that table, I think that most people expected you to pick one if they knew that those are tarot decks next to you, for you to pick your favorite tarot deck. Now, as soon as he asked, I'm like, he's going to say that lamp. I don't know why I felt that, But again, it goes back to trusting my instincts. I'm like, he's going to say that lamp. I'm like, that's a cool ass lamp. There's history there. And boom, there he was. So, but we got to address these tarot cards because they're displayed. Now with that, what do those tarot cards mean for you?
A change in spirituality, because I never intended to practice tarot, and it credit goes to Bonnie for this one, Bonnie Woodruff. She opened me up into it, and it's opened the door spiritually for me, where it's like, okay, there's more to this energy thing, to this third eye thing, to understanding yourself, trusting your instinct, and being aware of what's around you in a spiritual sense, and listening to it and trusting it. Before I would, I was very middle ground, but now it's like, yeah, it's something to spirituality. It is a real thing, and we do need to trust ourselves more. And these tarot cards, they represent that for me anyway. So it's very much a change in how I view the world, how I view spirituality.
Okay, I definitely can dig that. Now, I know with you being out there on the West Coast, it's hard to come out here out east. Have you heard of this giant tarot deck that Dr. Z was asking about?
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it, not in person. I haven't been to, I haven't been back east in years, actually.
Yeah.
So
I don't blame you. Stay where it's warm. Stay with the dry heat is where it's at.
I am hoping that this year, later on in the year, I make it back east. So, and yes, Ohio is one of the destinations. So.
Well, if I ever make it back out to California, I have family out there, and I haven't been out to see them in years. I go out to Arizona, and I see my grandmother there. But the extra state over for some reason is a really big challenge. But it's I have family close to you in southern LA, Dana Point. I have a great aunt there. I have family in Temecula. I have family in San Diego. I need to come out there. And on top of that, my cousins have a brewery in Mammoth Mountain up in Northern California. So if anyone likes to ski or snowboard, go to Mammoth Mountain, go to Distant Brewery. It's some pretty fantastic beer. They shipped me some. I don't know how legal that is. I probably shouldn't say that. My aunt did. My aunt, I said, "Hey, Aunt Wendy, can you send me some of their beer? I want to try it." And she may have. Happen. It did not. It didn't happen in real life.
It did not happen.
This
is hypothetical.
I did imagine it, but she did.
Imagine it.
But she did send me this. This is empty, but this is a thing that you carry beer in. It's shaped like
it's a hypothetical bottle.
Oh no, this is cool. But it's empty. It's never been used, so you can see. So she did not ship beer in this. But it's but this is done. So anyway, sorry, I plugged my cousin's stuff. Sorry. See, I love California. I love it. I love going out west. I need to come out and see Melvin.
Well, you don't like avocados, though, so that's why
I don't like avocados.
That's why you were kicked out.
my aunt would probably. My aunt has an avocado grove, and she would probably agree with you.
I love your aunt. I have to meet her now. She's single. Does she like black guys? Because I'll marry into the family.
I'd be honored to have you as a Uncle Mel.
Yeah, just for the avocados.
That's funny. Quickly, we are getting to the top of the 9:00 hour. I know we got a late start, but I always want to make sure that we get a chance to do this. This is your opportunity to plug all of your things. We have the link to your Amazon page for your book. I put the link to your YouTube channel. What are the best ways for people to find you? Please plug away.
All right. So, best ways to find me is, of course, on YouTube, Unexplained Possibilities. I go live every week, every other week. I go live, and if I'm not live, then it will be a small video that will show up there. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, and Instagram. So go on, say hello. Even though I'm terrible with social media, still say hello, and I'll say hello back, and then some. And as you guys know, So Strange Times available on Amazon and other places. So if you for whatever reason don't like Amazon, go somewhere else and get it. And be sure to check out the prologue and chapter 1 of So Strange Times, volume 1 on my YouTube page if you're unsure you would like the story or not. So a little teaser for you all.
How
And
long is that teaser?
I think the prologue's about 7 minutes, maybe. I can't exactly remember. I know chapter 1 is significantly longer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I could just look it up, Melvin. It's right here.
I'm looking.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, look. Here's. Oh. Oh, they got all sorts of good stuff here.
Yeah, Shawn, you should probably check out my channel more, shouldn't you?
I need to check out your channel more. I do.
The prologue is 8 minutes 33 seconds.
Where is this? Is it under playlist? I'm trying to find it.
Oh, you know what? I might not have that one under a playlist now that I think about it.
Oh, so it'll be on your homepage somewhere?
I just sent it to you.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, that one I don't have under playlist. I'll change that up eventually.
Where did you send it to me at?
It's on StreamYard, private chat.
Oh, I'm looking on YouTube Messenger. I'm like, I don't see that.
Oh, Shawn, man, you are out of it.
Oh, guys, I told you I wasn't feeling well.
Yeah.
I told you guys I wasn't feeling well, and it's affecting me more than I thought it was.
We are professionals, Melvin. You know, you can't review this podcast, okay?
I've had this podcast.
We're not open to constructive criticism tonight. This is.
No, I do plan to review RU as a whole, though. It's just so much stuff. Every time I get started, something new shows up, and it's God darn it.
Always got someone new. And actually, after our show on Sundays, I believe there's a guy that does live spirit box sessions. I've never gotten a chance to watch, but I've seen the advertisements for it. So, guys, make sure to stick around for that. Melvin, so after our intro, can I play the prologue teaser?
Yeah, go right on. Go right on ahead.
Sweet. So then I'll play it, and then whenever anyone catches the end of it, and they'll get to catch that. Awesome. So I'll do that. I've got that ready to go. Cool. I'm just so excited for you. I remember we've been talking about you coming out with this book, and I was so excited for you to have this come out. I know it's something that you've wanted, and it was a goal of yours for a long time, and you had some hiccups come along the way. I know you mentioned some of them. And I'm proud of you, brother. I really am. I'm proud that you got this out there. This is well on your way to something, to more. And I'm excited to see where this leads you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And thank you for supporting me. I really appreciate it, Shawn. And
Always.
Bryan, because you're over here, like you immediately done.
Like I said, it's easy for me, you know. Especially when you bring like the personal aspect to it. It's like the first time we get to actually talk, and what a blessing it is to get to speak with you and get to share these 2 hours with you. And I know we talked a little bit beforehand that a lot of people aren't going to obviously be able to see, but I can see that you're a genuine, good human being. You do so much, and I do appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Now, real quick, okay, it's 9:00 right now, so I have a question for you. Because we talked about the tarot cards. We know you don't like to investigate the paranormal. Bryan has a very strict rule. about Ouija boards and using spirit boards on investigations. Now, Ouija boards and spirit boards aren't necessarily a tool just for investigating. It could be used for spiritual set reasons. Have you ever used one?
Sort of. I use a pendulum board. It was made for me by Angie actually, and she made it from a tree, piece of tree. Here it is, right here.
Oh wow!
And it's I just use it with my pendulum. I'm very careful with it because when you're using spirit boards of any sort,
Mhm.
you're opening a door, and if you're just being a moron, you're letting any and everything in. Don't do that. But yeah, so yeah, I haven't used a traditional spirit board. This is my comfort zone, and I'm not really interested in, you know,
No, I
like a
don't see a
Ouija
big
board.
difference
But
between a spirit board and using doing that. I have pendulums too, and I mean we've worked with them together, so obviously,
well, it
but
has to do with mindset and
yeah,
being in control, and
exactly.
I feel in control.
Okay,
Amen.
and that's exactly what you need to do. You need to stay within that, stay in your comfort zone, know where your control is. But yeah, see, I got my pendulum here, and guess what? It's made of wood, um, and that's because me being empathic, I connect to nature, I connect to trees. So to me, it made sense to have a wood pendulum. So there we go. I think that's awesome, and it's you're right. You got to be careful. I was on an investigation where we did kind of a seance type thing, and you gotta be careful. Make sure you're closing that stuff down, guys. Don't be leaving open portals places.
Mhm.
That's not okay. And who knows what'll follow you out from there. So it's good to close those off. Make sure that those, So just kind of throwing that stuff out there, guys. I've seen it. I've been in the field for a long time, and people now they want to collect these Ouija boards. They want to do all this stuff, collect haunted items. Guys, be careful. Know what you're inviting into your home. Know what you're doing, and as long as you're able to stay even killed, and even then, there's big risks. So I always like to throw that stuff out in our shows because a lot of people don't realize the real risks that connecting with spirit and being an investigator can have. So with that, anything else you guys have? You have any big events, any big shows coming up, Melvin?
Uh, well, I have a new tarot deck coming in, and what I like to do with that is do a comparison. So
Oh,
it should be here sometime next week, and you'll see a comparison of 3 decks that I use with this new deck. And there is going to be a book giveaway, and that will be happening in February. So stay
ooh,
tuned for that.
my birthday. All right. That's awesome. Awesome. So when you
Love
first
it.
brought up you're getting a new tarot deck, I was like, oh, for some reason I thought you were designing one. But so this is what is where did you find this tarot deck?
Oh, well, this is one that I knew about since 2020. It's just I can finally afford it, and and it's time to get it. It's called the Gilded Tarot Royal by Ciro Marchetti,
Ooh,
and it's freaking gorgeous. And
okay.
that's all I'm going to say. If you want to see it, then you're going to have to come to my channel when I get it.
Okay. Okay. Have I shown this is my favorite deck? My favorite deck. I probably did show it to you because it's my favorite. Comes in a big old box. Can't get it. Stuck. Here we go. Oh, as I knock other things down. Okay. This is it right here. Check that out. Salvador Dali Tarot.
Oh
Comes
yeah,
in
you
this.
talked about that before.
Uh,
Yeah.
so it comes in this big box. Don't be fooled. It's a regular sized deck. But I love it, man. I love the artwork. When you can connect with the artwork, though, that to me makes it easy.
That's what matters. Like, you have to connect. Otherwise, then it's just a showpiece.
Right. I have a deck I have no clue how to use. So I have a plan. I'm going to use it for investigating. I'm going to use it for validating intelligent interaction with the spirit box in that deck. Is this one here? So I felt a connection to it. I was in a store. I was in a metaphysical store, and I had no clue about this deck, and I just felt a connection to it. And for some reason, I was supposed to have it. It's this one, Tarot of Reconciliation or Reincarnation, and legit, it is regular cards, but it's got animals on it.
Oh, and they're like playing cards.
Yep, they're regular playing cards, but each card has a different like animal. And I'm like, how am I supposed to like memorize or feel? Like, I don't know. So I haven't been able to use this. I don't know why I was attracted to this deck. I got it years ago, but now I have an idea on how I can use this deck. And maybe that's why I was attracted to it, is to use it in this way. Basically, I'm going to ask a spirit box what the next card is and see if we can get intelligent interaction. And we'll see. I don't know any other way. Do you know anyone that would know how to use this deck?
Actually, since it has animals on it, I would go with how you feel about the animal that shows up, whether it's a predator or whether it's prey, to pick out the energies that's around you and go from there. Along with the numbers, I would look into a little bit of numerology.
Okay. Yeah, I know that there's ways of doing readings with a regular deck of cards. And that's kind of like what I got out of having that on there, was to kind of going back to that type of a reading. And that's not something that I like when I do my tarot cards. So, I mean, rather I have the book out for the explanation. I usually just look at the card and feel the card. I look at the image and see what it's telling me and what it's telling me about the individual that's in front of me. Yeah, right. That's what you're supposed to do, right? But when I'm looking at this, I get a porcupine. I'm like, well, what is a porcupine telling me about this young lady in front of me? I don't know.
Well, I mean, if a porcupine comes up, it would say that she's defensive and she has her guard up for whatever reason. So why is this guard up? What happened to where you're not putting it down? And we know porcupines can be rather aggressive too. So if you get through that guard, then what's this aggression? What's causing this anger? That's how I would see it.
Okay, I like that. Okay, I'll have to look further into that. I don't know why I never thought of that. Like just comparing the different animals and their personalities, for lack of a better word, and for their, whether, like you said, whether if they're predator or defensive or what. Okay. That's actually, I might look deeper into those cards then. Maybe that's, I don't know. But that was just like one of those purchases I made. Just like for some reason I felt connected. I felt like I needed to have it, and then I never used it. So I don't know. It's interesting. Do you ever do anything like that before?
No, I don't do spur of the moment purchases.
Okay, so there's just like a thing that you like feel a connection to, like
I mean,
like a doll or a crystal or something.
No, it would be with the tarot cards. Like I might see something that's like, oh, I feel connected here, but I won't just get it. I'll have to think about it, let it fester, and see, am I really connected? Do I really like this, or do I just like the art? And because I use all my cards, and it's a lifelong investment, and I don't want something that's just going to sit around and it's like, so I never purchase right away, even if there is a connection there. So I have to think about this. I have to really feel it and see.
Then you don't end up like me with a deck that you don't use. It just sits there. You just try to. I'm trying to think of ways to use it because the tarot decks are not cheap.
Yeah. Oh,
And
they're not. But you see, you're thinking about ways of using instead of just using it. Don't
touche.
think,
Hmm.
just you have to you have to use it. You
True.
have to practice with it and find that understanding, that feeling. It's like, oh, I get it. Otherwise, it's just not going to work.
Very, very, very true. Very true. Well, then, guys, here it is. We have made up our 10 minutes. So we've done the full show. Thank you for your patience, everybody. It's been a while since we've had a show. This is our first show of 2023. Couldn't think of a better way to bring in 2023 than with Melvin and discussing his book. Guys, seriously, go get your copy. So Strange Times, Volume 1 on Amazon. It's in the comments here.
Yes.
Get yourself a copy. Do yourself a favor. And also check out his podcast. Man, I'm telling you, Melvin comes up with the best questions. Whenever I see Melvin come up in the comments, I'm like, heck yes, we're going to get at least 2 good questions out of this guy this time. And when he delivers, he delivers the best questions. So, not that you guys don't ask good questions either, but I'm just trying to stick upon the intellectual.
Melvin, you outclass them. No offense, everyone, but you are in a wrong. You are S tier, my friend. Don't even. There's no feelings here. It's truth.
All right. Thank you.
Guys, go check out Melvin. Melvin has a giveaway he's doing next month on his show. He's going to be talking about his new tarot deck that he's getting, and he's going to be comparing it and giving his review on a new tarot deck. And man, I'm telling you, he's always got great content. Guys, go check out his content. And guys, Melvin gave us the okay to leave out the show with his prologue teaser. So if you guys want to stick around for it, please feel free. It's about 8 minutes long, and so we're gonna go out with a bang with that. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you guys have a great week. Again, a week from today, we have another show, 2 weeks in a row, and it's another great one with Mike Ricksecker, and then it's on into February. Man, this year's gonna go fast, I think, guys.
It is.
All right. Well, Melvin, thank you so much for coming on. It's always an honor and a pleasure to hang out.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It was great.
Thank you, Melvin. This paranormal adventure that we're all on, it connects us. This is our paranormal community. This is our paranormal podcast with your host, Shawn Gilmore.
He's worked in the paranormal field for 10 years.
He was featured on the TV show Paranormal Survivor that airs on Travel Channel.
His passion is creating para-unity.
With your host, Brian Mursall.
He's worked in the paranormal field for 7 years.
He leads his own paranormal team.
He wants to help people start their paranormal adventure or grow their existing one. This is our paranormal adventure. This is our paranormal community. This is our paranormal podcast.
It's about supporting. It's about making para-unity a real thing, because we all need to support each other within our community. And that's what the show has always been about.
All right, here is the teaser prologue for So Strange Times, Volume 1. It's funny sometimes how when you look back on things, you start to connect the dots on how life would turn out. How sometimes you can see the blueprint on where you'll end up. Other times you just fumble around and hope for the best. Interestingly enough, I didn't fumble, and I could never see the entire blueprint. Instead, I was slapped in the face with what would turn out to be some of the scariest, weirdest, funniest, and best times of my life. This is how I became an investigator of the strange and eerily beautiful world of the unknown and the unseen. My name is Lexington Irving Monroe Porter. Yes, I realize LIMP would be the acronym for my name. Something I know all too well thanks to a few school peers who have the humor of monkeys. Anyway, most people don't know my full name and they call me by my much preferred shortened name, Lex. Sorry, I got sidetracked there. I very much doubt you care about names. However, some names lead to unlocking great power. Perhaps one day I'll share that tale with you. But for now, you'll have to accept the first story of the first volume of what would eventually become So Strange Times. I remember this so well, and while yes, it is indeed cliched, a city boy moving to a new small town, that is, I promise that's the only part about this that one could consider to be cliched. At least, I think this is the only part. You know what? It doesn't matter. So, like I was saying, I remember the summer sun shining down on the asphalt road from overhead. It was so hot you can literally see the heat rise from the ground. The air was dry as well. One could easily fall out from dehydration. Luckily for 14-year-old Lex, which is me, was in an air conditioned SUV and supplied with thrift store beverages. My hair was dark brown and in a Caesar cut. Somehow I was taller than average for my age, and I had a light tan complexion, unlike Dad, who could be mistaken for a ghost. And I would always receive compliments on the color of my eyes. My eyes are a weird brown color. I suppose you can almost say they're amber, but really I don't know, nor do I care enough to find the proper color of them. I also had another feature that some noticed: a single freckle on my right nostril. Keen observers would notice that I'd scratch that freckle when I get anxious or fibbing about something. Lucky for me, Dad isn't that keen, so I can still get away with stuff. I'm also the only child, and that's a giant plus. It's also why I have so much space in the SUV. Speaking of which, the SUV I was in was a beauty of a car, both inside and out. She was dark blue, had a quiet six-cylinder engine, and was something of a workhorse. I endearingly named the SUV Alice. Alice's interior was covered in tan cloth, no fancy leather was needed, and she had more than enough room for anyone to stretch out and relax, especially if you were going to be stuck in her for hours at a time, which at that point I was. Now, I have to point out that Alice was older. She was quickly approaching that 100,000-mile marker. But you know what? I didn't care. Unlike the younger and hipper vehicles that roam the streets, Alice actually has character. She has meaning and memories. I'm even proud to say that now the old girl has crossed the 250,000-mile marker and still going strong. The man at the helm of Alice is none other than my father, the one and only Mr. Benjamin Ulysses Ryan Porter. So, my dad isn't what you'd call ruggedly handsome, nor was he ever trying to be that. He's average in height, build, and probably in looks to most women. Sorry, Dad, but I have to call it like it is. Dad at this time was in his late 30s and his hair was starting to go gray. He tried to hide this fact by keeping it short. It didn't exactly work like how he would have hoped. Mostly because he was so pale white, it made the gray stick out more. Dad wore thick framed glasses, had a weird affinity for slacks and sweater vests, and the most even tempered person I have ever known. Seriously, you can smash a pumpkin on his head, pour vinegar in his coffee, honk at him in heavy traffic for an hour, or switch out his shaving cream for whipped cream. He won't flip his top at all. Trust me, I've tried. The most he will do is give a lecture in his overly calm and somewhat monotone voice. This guy has to be a saint, right? Truth be told, I got lucky having him as a father. He's always shown me love and understanding, even at times he thought I was bat flipping insane. Now, as far as my mom, I have no idea. I have no memories of the woman. Dad never brings her up, and I don't want to bring up anything that might cause feelings to get hurt. At this point, I've accepted that she's gone, and I will probably never know why. Okay, so back to me, the 14-year-old relaxing in the backseat of Alice. I remember thinking how long of a drive this was. It wasn't too bad, though. I was playing a game on my phone with headphones on. It helped drown out that garbage rap music my dad loved listening to while he drove. He thought he was being young and hip. Instead, he looked like a dork. Sorry again, Dad. You'd think I'd be broken up over moving to a new area and leaving my friends behind, right? Well, you'd have thought wrong. I tended to avoid socializing with the people who could be considered my peers. Most of them were boring, dumb, fixated on the latest trends, or a combination of the three. I was a lone wolf, and I liked it that way. If you weren't unique in my eyes or brought something worthwhile to me, then why would I want to be around you? Little did I know the effect that way of thinking would have on my future relationships. Hours have passed, and the sun that was once so mighty and bright started to descend from the sky and set. The air became cooler, the day became darker, the roads became rougher. My butt fell asleep from the long hours of being in the car, and my back wasn't feeling too hot either. While Alice is a comfy ride, the human body can only last so long in the limited space she offered. However, as if it were a sign from the heavens themselves, I saw what I needed to see. Actually, my dad called to me as I was in a half awake slumber and pointed out the sign. But I still prefer to think it was the heavens giving it to me. And yes, it was a literal sign. A sign that said, "Welcome to Crescent. We have arrived. My new town, my new home, and what would eventually be the place of my adventures."